And so again, my name is Sherry Darden and I am a CEO growth strategist. And so what we're going to be talking about here today is with my signature training and coaching, we talk about CEO strategies. And that is working with you as a leader, working with your people, your processes, and your procedures. And that comes into what we talk about as CEO leadership. And that's mastering communication that pulls your community, not just solely pushing them. And then it helps create an expansion of your team to help them grow engagement within your company, helping to grow and cultivate that corporate culture, if you will. And then identify and modify business operations to scale any organizations. Because here's what I say, it's not so much what you make, it's what you keep. And the biggest asset that you have within your organization is your people. And that's what we're going to talk about here today when it comes to CEO leadership. There was a poll that was taken in a study that was done as to what our employees really want in a workplace. Because if you notice that we probably work more with the people at the office than we do with our family members. So it's really important to really kind of know what your people want. And this is just a puzzle, if you will. These are kind of some pieces, if you will, as to what employees feel that are valuable in a workplace. And if you notice that last piece of the puzzle there says belonging and caring. So whether you invite me in to do a half day, a whole day, or even a 2-day CEO leadership retreat, we can go over these. The longer you have me there, the more in depth we can have a conversation and discover those. But for time purposes here today, we're going to talk about the belonging and the caring. And so what I want to do is I want to start this off with a poll. Then I want to ask you what you feel about your employees. And that polling question is, what percentage of employees want to feel valued? Is that 100%, 87%, 70%, or 50%? It's kind of tricky. So that's kind of a little bit of a hint there. So is it 100%? Is it 87, 70, or 50? And while some of the polls are coming in, right now it looks like we've got 100% as the winner. And it's 70%. It is 70%. 70% of employees want to feel valued, or they will take their box and they will go. And the reason why it's not 100% is because all of our employees are different. And that's what we're going to be talking about, that CEO leadership is treating them as individuals. We've had other presenters talk about emotional intelligence. We're all different there. What stresses us off, stresses us out, we're all different there. When we talk about diversity and inclusion, we're all different there. So that's why we're looking at that 70%. So here's what I have found. People crave clear communication. People crave clear direction, especially when we're talking about leadership. So just imagine you have gone onto Facebook, Pinterest, or you've dug out an old family recipe. It's calling for olive oil. And you go to the store, you're thinking it's going to be a 5-minute stop at the grocery store. And you encounter this and you go, oh my gosh, I just want olive oil. And now you've got all these choices. You've got virgin, extra virgin, you've got Spanish, you've got Italian olive oil, and you've got that. And guess what happens? You get overwhelmed. You get overwhelmed. And that's how your staff feels if they're not given clear communication and clear direction. So that 5-minute jot out to the grocery store now turns into a 30-minute visit at the grocery store. Kind of feel a little overwhelmed and really not sure if you've chosen the right thing, correct? That's how your employees feel if they're not given clear communication. Now, when we think about giving clear communication, clear direction with our employees, what that does is that builds mutual respect. And we've all heard about mutual respect, right? Right? Golden rule. The golden rule. We've been taught that with our parents. We've been taught that through school, all those good things. And we all know what the golden rule is, right? The golden rule says you treat people the way you want to be treated. Now, that's a great rule. But when we think about CEO leadership and being that effective leader and motivating your staff and increasing that bottom line and not wasting time on having to repeat yourself, we really want to look at it as the platinum rule. And the platinum rule is you treat people the way they want to be treated. Because guess what? It's not a one-size-fits-all. So when we talked earlier about emotional intelligence, what may motivate or demotivate, if you will, another employee can be different. And so we've got 4 employees here. We're going to look at 4 employees. We're going to look at John. We're going to look at Robin. We're going to look at Tasha. And we're going to look at Joe. These are 4-star employees at your corporation. And your job is to get them on that elevator or that escalator to success, if you will. So let's take a look at John. John is your #1 salesperson. And you've got this hot lead and you say, John, come in here. We've got this great lead and it could be 7 figures this year if we do it right. And listen, I've got all of this history behind this client and I've worked with them. And you just start giving all of these tidbits to John. John's going to start scratching his head. He's going to start frowning and going, wait a minute. Why are you just bogging me down with all the little tidbits? Why are you bogging me down in the minutia? I'm your #1 salesperson. Didn't I perform before? John just wants quick, short bullet points to what you need. Because here's the thing, John is task oriented. You give him quick, short points and he's gonna go ahead and he's gonna do it. And if he's got questions, he will come to you. So instead of bogging him down in all that minutia, you want to say, John, I've got this great, great lead. It can be 7 figures. We need to do this, this, this. Bullet points. He's like, hey, you know what? I'm #1. I can get it done. Thanks for that. You're also motivating him because, again, you're not bogging him down with the little stuff. Again, he's going to probably think, you don't know what I'm doing, or I don't know what I'm doing. Got the point? Now we've got Robin. Robin has been instrumental in the organization. Robin has always spearheaded your retreats. Let's say a retreat, your leadership retreat. And this year's no different. You approach Robin and you say, Robin, it's that time of year again. Yeah, go ahead and schedule something for October. You walk away because guess what? Robin's done this before. So you feel like, I don't need to give her a whole lot of details because she's done it before and been very, very successful at it. You give her the assignment today. 2 weeks from now, you kind of walk by just happenstance and say, hey, Robin, how's that retreat coming? Robin's going to go, whoa, 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 whoa. Listen, it's only been 2 weeks. I've got to decide location. I've got to decide food. I've got all of these things. You just don't know all of the stuff that has to go into there. Tasha likes this. John likes this. Joe likes this. And you like this. I've got all these things to do. She's kind of bogged down. She likes the details. Where John didn't, Robin likes the details. So in order to have that successful situation with Robin, you want to say, Robin, we want to have our retreat again in October. Try and find the first 2 weeks. Let's find a location that's midway between headquarters and the airport, because I think that'll be easiest. So not everybody has to rent a car. Let's do 1 meal at the hotel and another meal off-site. She's like, I've got that, because you've given her details. See, here's the thing with Robin. Robin is a people person. John was a task person. Robin's a people person because she wants to make sure that she pleases everyone. So without giving her parameters, she can suffer from what we call overanalysis paralysis. Now we've got Tasha. Tasha is your #1 numbers person. That's why you've made her controller. Now it's, again, budget season. And again, you think Tasha's done it great before. Why give her these details again? But if you don't, Tasha's going to come to you and she's going to say, well, do you want 3 years projections versus 1 year? Would you like to have them broken down by month or by quarter? And would you like legends? Do you want graphs? Do you want all of this? And you start going, wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. Are you questioning me, Tasha? Or Tasha, are you inept? Because you may start thinking, why is she asking all of these questions? Well, here's the thing with Tasha. Tasha's a task person. She wants to get things correct. And you will find that in your accounting and your HR and your IT departments. So she's focusing on getting things correct. So the way to make Tasha happy is to say, hey, Tasha, budget season again. Let's do 3 years pro forma. Let's go ahead and do it on a quarterly basis. Let's do that. Now, here's the thing with Tasha. Because she wants to get things correct, she also suffers from overanalysis paralysis, but it's due to the task, not necessarily the people. So don't be offended Even with all of the details you can give her, she's still going to come back with more. She's not questioning you. She just wants to get it correct. So with all of those things that you give her, she's going to come back and go, hey, do I have the budgets for you? It's going to knock our board members' socks off. That's the way to motivate her. Now we've got Joe pulling up the rear. Now, Joe's been with you forever. Joe's been with you since the start of the company, and Joe's pretty much kind of helped you create processes and procedures and checklists. So today, it's no longer business as usual. You now have a new rule or regulation that comes into play, and now something's brand new. And you go to Joe and say, hey, Joe, you know how we've been doing it this way? Starting tomorrow, we're going to do it this way. You're going to get some pushback from Joe because he's going to start thinking. He's going to go, but wait a minute. I've been here for 20 years and I created these policies and procedures. I don't know why we have to do that. So he's going to be kind of your pushback, if you will. He's going to be your devil's advocate. Here's the thing to motivate Joe. You have to give him explanation as to why. Hey, you know what? Something just passed in Congress, something just passed with OSHA regulations. We're going to have to do it again, but now we're going to have to add a new twist. Once you give him that justification, because change doesn't come easy to him, he's going to go, hey, I got it. You know what? I'll even spearhead the new policies and procedures and checklists with that. You just have to explain it to him just a little bit more. So, you know, we talked about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. If you notice, Snow White was really successful with her seven dwarfs because she treated them all differently. For time purposes, I was only able to explain 4, but you kind of get the gist of it, those 4 major food groups, if you will, on how to treat people the way they want to be treated, if you will. So know that you have to communicate differently with different people because this is part of diversity. You have to sometimes treat them with their heart, if they're heart-centric, and those who are task-oriented, you have to treat them through their head. Now, if we come in and we do a workshop together, again, if it's a day, we're going to talk about some scripts. I'm going to provide them with you. We'll kind of go over it. Won't be able to role play as much, but if we've got a 2-day, then we'll be able to actually write down some scripts, practice some scripts, all that good stuff. Whether it's a half day, whole day, multiple day that you call Rocky and say, hey, we need to talk about this, is going to be how we get into it in the detail, but you will have scripts. So when we think about treating people differently, thinking about that platinum rule, if you will, one of the best wordsmiths that I know, Maya Angelou, she says, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you make them feel. So as leaders, you're going to have to influence, but just know we're not asking you to change. We're not asking your staff to change. We want you to be yourself and we want you to understand your strengths. So I just want to end by saying, thank you so much, Rocky, for that. I so look forward to coming into your organization and talking to you about CEO leadership to increase that communication, increase that acceptance, that diversity with emotional intelligence, all of that good stuff. And I look forward to meeting you at your workplace. Thanks, Rocky.
Outstanding, Sherry. Thank you so very much. We're going to keep you up here for our Q&A session if you don't mind.
No.
Love the information, love your presentation style. And I think we all received a great deal of information that we know we could expand on when we bring you in to do a full day of training. So
awesome.
Excellent. But let us ask you, here's a question that came in. Can assessments and the resulting training be accomplished in a virtual setting?
It can. It will take a little bit of extra prep before the day that we do it virtually, but absolutely, absolutely. The assessments will come to you. They will be probably about 45 or 50 pages. We'll work through it. Even if you want us to do one-on-one before that, absolutely, it can be done virtually. It's great in person, but it's still just as effective virtually. Yes.